Welcome to our quantum deep dive on the topic quantum curriculum scheduling. Right off the bat, we're unpacking a highly critical, foundational text authored by Jörg Oa Schneepath. In this explainer, we're going to systematically break down Schneepath's core thesis on how learning pathways must be rigorously engineered when you're dealing with the extreme fragility and the immense power of quantum mechanical resources.
Here's how we're breaking this down today. We'll start with Section 1, the quantum learning problem, then move right into Section 2, reinforcement learning goes quantum. From there, we'll cover Section 3, quantum curriculum scheduling explained, followed by Section 4, lifelong learning and meta-RL. Finally, we'll wrap up with Section 5, applications, limits, and future.
Let's get straight into it. Section 1, the quantum learning problem.
To really grasp this framework, you have to understand that quantum computing completely changes the fundamental geometry of learning. Those classical curriculum heuristics we're used to, simply feeding an agent tasks from easy to hard, they are entirely inadequate here. Schneepath puts this perfectly. He states that curriculum scheduling is not a cosmetic add-on, but a central control mechanism to systematically improve learning stability and sample efficiency. In a quantum environment, the curriculum isn't just a nice-to-have. It is a non-negotiable architectural necessity. It's literally the steering wheel you need to navigate spaces that are absolutely fraught with measurement disturbances and decoherence.
This brings the contrast between classical and quantum agents into sharp relief. Think about classical agents. They operate as deterministic or stochastic functions, relying on incredibly stable numerical updates. Quantum agents, on the other hand, are hybrid systems. They rely on probabilistic wave amplitudes. Now, this allows them to encode complex global dependencies with incredible efficiency. But it comes at a steep price. It makes them immensely fragile. They're highly susceptible to measurement collapse, and they are constantly battling physical hardware noise.
Moving on to Section 2, reinforcement learning goes quantum. To understand the level of algorithmic control we actually need here, we have to rigidly define the physical concepts making quantum learning so powerful and yet so volatile. First up is superposition. This is the ability of a quantum system to exist in multiple states simultaneously. For a learning agent, that means it can represent an exponential number of environmental states or policy parameters completely in parallel. It enables massive, unparalleled exploration. But here's the catch. This hypersensitive state collapses the exact moment a measurement is taken. The superposition is just entirely destroyed.
Next, we have entanglement. We're talking about non-classical correlations where the overall state of the system cannot be reduced to just its individual parts. In the context of reinforcement learning, entanglement lets an agent's policy capture incredibly complex global dependencies without a massive parameter overhead. It's incredibly efficient. Yet, entanglement remains exceptionally vulnerable to decoherence. And by that, I mean the irrecoverable loss of quantum information leaking out into the environment.
Finally, there's interference. This is the constructive or destructive overlapping of probability amplitudes. Think of it as a novel mechanism to actively amplify optimal action paths while suppressing the suboptimal ones. But utilizing interference effectively demands extremely precise algorithmic control. The slightest hardware error can flip constructive interference right into destructive noise. It's like a single person coughing in the audience and completely ruining a meticulously tuned symphony. The learning signal just gets destroyed.
All of this brings us to a severe, fundamental question. How do we actually define difficulty in a quantum realm? If your learning environment is constantly, stochastically shifting, and the agent's very active observing that environment physically alters its state, well, then traditional task complexity just doesn't cut it anymore as a measurement of difficulty.
That takes us to Section 3, quantum curriculum scheduling explained.
Here is Schneepath's mandatory solution to the problem we just mapped out. Difficulty isn't just about the task anymore. It's about the physical interaction between the agent, the environment, and the hardware itself. Notice how Schneepath completely redefines difficulty metrics here. First, he looks at coherence lengths. That's the actual physical time quantum information survives intact. This dictates exactly how deep your quantum circuits can be before noise totally dominates the system. Second, entanglement degrees. This is the level of non-classical correlation a specific task requires, and it determines just how vulnerable the system will be to hardware disturbances. So, a theoretically easy classical task, it might be practically impossible if it requires deep coherence that the hardware just cannot provide. Because of this, the way we schedule these tasks has to evolve. Static scheduling, which relies on fixed sequences, might be predictable, but it fails catastrophically in the real world when sudden hardware drifts occur. Dynamic scheduling, however, is state-dependent and adaptive. It's not just an option, it's a strictly necessary evolution.
It reacts in real time to noise spikes, variance in measurements, and sudden drops in coherence. Schneppet frames this adaptive quantum curriculum schedule as a rigorous meta-decision process. Step 1, the system has to continuously monitor quantum-specific indicators like measurement variance. Step 2, it evaluates the current hardware resources, looking at things like available coherence limits. And Step 3, it dynamically adapts the circuit depth and the distribution of tasks based on that data. What we're looking at is a continuous feedback loop designed solely for survival and stabilization in a highly hostile hardware environment.
Let's move to Section 4, Lifelong Learning and Meta-RL.
When we shift from training a single policy to an agent that actually has to accumulate skills over time, the stakes get considerably higher. The agent has to retain knowledge without erasing its incredibly fragile quantum states. The absolute greatest threat here is catastrophic forgetting. This is a phenomenon where learning a new task abruptly and completely destroys previously acquired knowledge. Now, in classical neural networks, we know this is an issue, but in quantum systems, it's exceptionally destructive. A single unguided update can completely shatter the delicate entanglement patterns that were holding the logic of a previously learned skill.
So how do we fix this? Quantum curriculum scheduling actively combats this failure state by acting as a sort of compositional logic for quantum skills. It mitigates forgetting by deliberately reintroducing simplified versions of old tasks to maintain stability. It makes sure that existing quantum representations are physically stabilized before the system even attempts to advance to a higher complexity. And critically, it modularizes specific quantum circuit blocks. It treats them as isolated, safe components that can be reused without the risk of being overwritten.
Finally, Section 5, Applications, Limits, and Future.
It's essential to ground this theoretical framework in reality. Where does this actually apply? The applications are found in the very fields that will define our future. We're talking about quantum control and optics, where laser pulses have to be managed with absolute precision. Variational quantum algorithms optimizing massively complex parameter spaces, the emerging field of autonomous quantum robotics, high-dimensional problems in quantum finance and portfolio optimization, and of course, the highly complex domain of simulating physical and chemical systems. In all of these areas, without a stabilizing curriculum, that quantum advantage you hear so much about is completely lost to noise.
But we have to deliver a stark reality check here, drawn directly from Schneppat's analysis. We are currently living in the NISQ era, that's noisy intermediate-scale quantum hardware. We are facing severely limited qubit counts and finite coherence times. Hardware drift is a constant threat. It's perfectly capable of rendering a well-established curriculum suddenly useless. Furthermore, the very act of changing the curriculum can induce measurement disturbances that artificially distort the learning signals. Simply put, the hardware is fighting the algorithm every single step of the way.
This leaves us with a highly critical, provocative question regarding the future of this technology. Will self-learning quantum systems eventually overcome this severe hardware fragility through advanced automated scheduling, or will they remain fundamentally limited by measurement noise and decoherence? To explore the mathematics, the physics, and more critical perspectives on this exact problem, I highly recommend visiting the original source by Jörg O. Schneppat. You can find this rigorous analysis and further deep dives over at schneppet.de.